Roll Tide, everybody. We're talking to you live today. We appreciate you guys being here. We're going to get into some Alabama topics on this Sunday. It's the Mick and Shank show on the Bama Tailgate Show. Guys, like, subscribe, thumbs up. I ask you that every show. I know that's confusing to Auburn fans, but for you people that Roll Tide, you can even hit the bell. You even know what that means. All right, let's get this thing started. All right, Roll Tide, everybody. Alphonse Taylor, we know him as Shank. I'm Mick Gillespie. Great to see you guys on this Sunday. And Shank, I know you've been busy, but great to have you back on the channel again to talk some Alabama football. I love the shirt, man. Look at that.
Oh yeah, man. You know we got to rock with the hometown Jags, the South Alabama Jaguars. You know it's forever Roll Tide, but you got to rock with the hometown guys as well. So go Jags.
I feel like they're a feeder system now for Alabama. I mean, look, we took their head coach as our defensive coordinator.
Yeah, man. I mean, the Jags got some good stuff going on down here, man. I mean, yeah, we definitely stole Kane, and I like what he was able to do his first year at Bama. I'm looking for big things out of him coming up in his second year, man. And I'm proud of what Major's doing down here with South Alabama as well. He's keeping that shit moving along and making things happen. So yeah, definitely get out and go support those guys.
Have you ever asked him what happened that year? Remember, he was Alabama's offensive coordinator. I want to say he might have been one of the first that Nick Saban had, and he did 1 year and moved on and had a great career. I wonder if it was just like dealing with Saban every day. You know what I mean? Like you don't sleep. You just keep playing,
Yeah, man. I no clue what happened there. I'm sure he wasn't ready for that type of work life. Getting in there with Osabo, but he's doing well now, man. So we go focus on that because we know how Saban can come down on his man. Pause. No diddy.
Well, we both love AL.com. We got some buddies that work there. Matt Stahl wrote a story about basically how much money was spent in recruiting last year for football. Tennessee edged out Alabama for the most money spent recruiting. Now, this isn't NIL. This is just going out and recruiting. The Volunteers spent $5.4 million, and Alabama spent $5.3 million. What do you think about this? Like, and explain to people, because you've been recruited, you coach, what this whole process is like. How do you end up with a $5.4 million bill just recruiting players?
I mean, somebody got to pay for those flights, those hotels, those official visits. And we know how guys like to bring people along with them, man, and have other people enjoy that experience as well. So it can become pricey. It can become pricey, and especially if you're one of the bigger programs, because you're getting guys from wherever you can get them. If they can play ball, you're gonna find your way to them. You're gonna fly them in,
right?
And so it's just it's kind of the classic business model, right? You got to spend money to make money.
Yeah.
And so guys are trying to win ball games and NIL and everything that's happening now. You gotta spend a little more money to pique these guys' interest these days, and so that's just part of the game now, man. It's part of the business model, and I'm sure those numbers will continue to climb here in the future.
I was wondering too if it's because partly because there's so many guys from California too. I mean, you think about like where they had some of their biggest recruiting victories, and it's out on the West Coast, and I don't blame them for taking advantage of the relationships that they had already. But those West Coast flights are expensive as well.
Yeah, so I've never flown to California, to be honest with you, so I wouldn't know. But I get it, and we've had a pretty good relationship with our West Coast guys so far, and everything we've been able to accomplish. So I don't think that'll be something that'll die down anytime soon. It's just a necessary part of it right now. You got to get those guys in, because those West Coast guys, especially, man, they're a hot commodity, especially at the quarterback position, linebacker spot. You got to get out there and get them. And so, yeah, man, that number's going to continue to climb if you ask me. And I think Bama is gonna waste no expense to get the guys that they need.
Mm-hmm. Partly too, and here's a graph from AL.com. You see Tennessee 1, Bama 2, and this is the money spent on recruiting. Auburn way down at the bottom with Missouri and Arkansas where they belong. But
Get your money up.
yeah, but it's like you said, man. I mean, it takes money to make money. If you're going to go out and have, and look, they ended up with the number 3 recruiting class according to a lot of services, and they were number 1 for a while as well. You're going to have to go out there and hit the streets. And I'll tell you this: I have a lot of respect for the way that Kalen DeBoer and staff took over a program that was known for recruiting and hit the ground running. Right. To me, and I'm going to change kind of gears a little bit. It's the key to me is now recruiting the state of Alabama. It's the Tank Joneses, it's the Ezekiel Crowell. It's winning the guys in the state because and Jake Coker and I have talked about this a lot on Elephant in the Room, but you guys from Alabama that play at Alabama kind of bring just a little something different to the table. I mean, to me, it's not just about what happens on the field. It's just kind of understanding the culture.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I told somebody about this. Just when I decided to flip from Florida State, I told myself even in high school, I was just like, one day I want to move back home and I want to enjoy living home. And I think I'd have a way better time at that if I went and stayed in state and went to Alabama, right? And that's just because that culture does mean a lot to the state. We don't have any pro teams. Until we got the XFL or UFL, whichever one you want to call it, we didn't have any pro teams, right? And so Alabama or that other school, I won't dare say their name in the state, people gravitated towards those two programs. And so man, it means a whole lot more. It means a whole lot more, especially coming home to my neighborhood. There's people that appreciate that time that you put in at a place like Alabama because they understand it's not the easiest place to go and it's not something that everybody can do. And I do have a certain type of pride being from Mobile, Alabama, winning played at Alabama,
Yeah.
winning 2 national championships, 4 SECs, having that type of hardware, being able to come home and show the kids, you're like, hey, I'm just a kid from Pritchard, Alabama, and we made it happen. Man, so if I can make it happen, anybody can make it happen. And so it's a bigger deal when you walk in the rooms um, with guys from same places that you are, and you're able to show those type of accomplishments when everybody knowing what it took to get there.
Yeah, really, man. I mean, I asked Coker this because there's an episode of the show Pawn Stars. You ever watch that? The out in Vegas, and there's guys
Yeah, I
people
like
come in
that
and
little
pawn
show,
stuff.
man.
Yeah, it's great, right? Well, a guy on the 2020 Bama team pawned all of his championship rings, got like 60 grand from him. I said to Coker, I mean, you got the 3 from Florida State and then the 3 from Alabama, right? Because you get a 3 different rings. You get the championship ring, you get
Right.
another championship ring, and then you get obviously if you win the conference, right? So I was asking him, like, does he ever wear his rings? And then would he ever pawn them? Well, he said he wouldn't pawn them, and he said he has his in a safe. But do you ever just like sport the rings to school, or ever just get them out?
Oh man, no, I actually do wear my rings from time to time. Special events when you just got to show off just a tad bit. Let the people know why you're in the room and who you're in the room with. I really like to rock them when I go to events with my daughter and just be like, yeah, I'm not like you other dads. I'm cool, man. Like you guys aren't national champs. And be like, and like my kid thinks it's so cool that I played Alabama football. So I got a little type of swagger and ego about me when I'm out with her and I get to wear my rings to like her little recitals and stuff, man. She thinks it's so cool. She wants me to show everybody. And so yeah, I wear them then. I wear them to just big events, man. Other than that, I keep them put up, man, or else my kids will treat them like just little toys and throw them around everywhere, and I have a mini heart attack.
Yeah, right. Hey
But
guys,
yeah, I mean, I think everybody should wear them from time to time, and just it's like it's a right that you earn. It's not something that everybody can say. Be like, you're like, yeah, you play football. Everybody, a lot of us play football, but are you a champ though?
Yeah, right. What was the what was the ceremony like? What did Nick Saban say to you guys? Or were you just given these rings? You got any good stories? I think it must be just amazing, to have been part of it. And then that's kind of like, which he hated to do,
Yeah,
you kind of look back and go, hey, you know what, we're rewarded for our success.
yeah. Nick was kind of cut and dry when it came to the rings, man. He wanted to go ahead and get that process over with. Nick was ready to hit the ground running again. But I will say my favorite memory is probably the first time they started the playoff system, right? And you have to go through basically like a tournament style system. You play these playoff games and you get to the natty. Well, we didn't know that you got a ring for every playoff game that you won, like along the way to the national championship game. And so, what was it like that 2015 year? We got like 6 or 7 rings for like all the stuff that we won. And I just remember putting them all on one finger, putting them all in one hand, taking a picture, man, like covering my face, just a handful of rings. I felt like Kobe or some shit. Man, and like, man, I just thought that was super dope, man, because like that's when the light bulb that came on for me, like 2015, man. It's just it all fell into place for everybody. It was a great year. And so I definitely remember that. And I also remember that year because, 2014, that previous year, we had the kick six. And so that entire off season leading up to 2015 was just pure hell. It's like the worst time of my life. I contemplated if I really wanted to play football or not. Might have wanted to transfer a couple times, but but we made it through it, man. We made it through it. And it's just being out there with Nick, man, just God, man, you want to talk about somebody who's just always locked in, just always business, 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 business.
Yeah.
And he just used to get so pissed off at just the smallest shit because he was all about details. And man, it's just he
Who
just be
got yelled at the most?
lame. The fuck.
That does not surprise me at all.
I think Kiffin got yelled at the most if we talking coaches, just because he knew how to press Saban's buttons, dog. Man, it's just like I never forget we'll be doing team runs sometimes, and he'll throw a play action in there just to fuck with him. And, and Saban get all pissy, man. He's just like, and the defense can never have bad days. The offense can never have good days. He'll start a period over. And like if we go out there and team run, inside run, and we just beating up on the defense, and he get all pissed off. He start all that shit over, and then just fucking Lane finds a way to mess with him even more. But they had a great relationship though, man. To me, anyway. You could tell they were on two different ends of the spectrum as far as how they approach things, but they're both football geniuses in their own right,
Yeah.
and,
Mhm.
and, and so from that aspect, it was definitely a lot of mutual respect amongst them. But they just had a funny dynamic relationship, man. Because you got Saban, who's just like, "All right, guys, put your suits on, grab your hard hats, let's go to work." You got Lane, who's just like, "All right, yeah, we can put your suits on, grab your hard hats, let's go to work, but maybe we're gonna leave our shoes unloosened a little bit and you kick
Mhm.
our feet up a little bit. We're gonna get the work done. We're not gonna take it oh so serious." Man, but he never fed us any bullshit. Like when it came down to football, it was always on point though. And
Yeah.
so being around those guys in itself, man, was a great time. And then you look back on it now, just realize how much shit you learned. Just because I think about the way I coach now, I'm just like, damn, I done heard that a time or two. Or they said
Mhm.
that to me a time or two, and I always have to stop and catch myself and reminisce on that because just the little things he used to repeat always pop up in my head now, like be where your feet are. Um, you know what I'm saying? It's just you got to get better every day. Nobody stays the same. You either get better or you get worse. You got to get 1% better every day. Man, like I catch myself repeating that to my kids now as a coach. I just think that's crazy. I went off on a little tangent there. My bad.
No, no. I mean, it's a good point because I think that like listening to Lane Kiffin on some of these podcasts, like he's much more adult now, you know, and I think he looks back on some of that stuff because I kept hearing about Saban not always being real happy with Lane, and then you know the off the field Lane was pretty crazy. But he is a genius. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, you see the way he would draw up some of those offenses. You'd go into these games and like every time we played Tennessee, we would just blister them. And you knew that the first play was going to be a touchdown, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that first drive, and you just felt sorry for him. Like they'd be out of the game so fast. It'd be like, you know, like he'd get a mismatch over here, or he'd do something over there, you know. And now I think like him being a head coach and like kind of, you know, being sober and trying to be focused on this, he's probably doing a lot of the same stuff you're talking about now, thinking about what he did when he was at Alabama and what Saban said to him all the time. And then, you know, kind of switching gears, kind of putting it back to Alabama. I think you and I probably have a much more similar personality with Lane or with Kalen DeBoer than we do with Nick Saban. We all love Coach Saban. But it doesn't mean that you can't be successful. It just means that you have to motivate people in a different way. And I look at Kalen DeBoer, and I think, okay, he's really laid back, but having Ryan Grubb there kind of helps that balance a little bit.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. And, you know, I feel like DeBoer is just more of a, all right, come on, guys, like, give me what you got to give me. And then Saban was more of a like, all right, get y'all ass in here. This what I need from y'all today. And you either give me what I need or we gonna get somebody in here who's gonna give me what I need. And not to say who's right or wrong, because the Bulls approach, you know, that guy who may be struggling and who's developing right now, they may bring that guy along faster, right? And that same guy under Saban's approach, he might fold under that pressure. And
Yeah.
you know, and so there's not to say either approach is wrong, but I just think Saban's approach fits so much more with Alabama and the standard and tradition of the program and who we've been this entire time. We've been a very stern pro type of program, beat down on people and not be too flashy, right? Man, so you see Du Bois is a little bit different than that. He kind of let the guys he let the guys be young athletes out there and enjoy themselves, which is fine, but we got to win games if that's how we're going to approach it, though.
Yeah,
And
right.
it's
Well,
like,
that's the bottom line on any of this stuff.
yeah, like it has to translate to winning football and winning culture, or if not, then what are we doing it for?
Yeah, right. Well, then I think that's Alabama. That's been Alabama football forever. You know, when there's been a standard that at Alabama that was here before Coach Saban. And I look at Coach Saban. I think he's great. But when he was at LSU, he didn't have the success that he had at Alabama. He had won a championship, but it wasn't like this. I think that the Alabama program with Coach Saban, that the mix of the two, the tradition, the in-state players, the legacy, you know, Coach Saban being amazing, that it's the mix of the two things that made it so great. And to me, this year felt like for Kalen DeBoer trying to figure out how he fits in with the tradition, with the expectations, right? And then college football right now. And you talked about something, and this is, you know, you being a high school football coach, you can kind of tell me your thoughts on this, but I feel like the other part of it is that kids are just not the same as when you guys were coming up. I mean, you go yell at people, they don't like that, they don't respond to that. I've noticed it with interns that I've had at my office. Like, instead of like getting into someone's ass, I'm just more like, hey, you know, if you don't want to do the job, you know, I'll pat them on the back as I get them out of the building. You know, like I'm not going to sit there and yell at somebody. And either here's the standard, either you do it or you don't do it. But it just feels like if you get into someone's ass, these kids don't respond to that.
Yeah, nah, man, these kids are definitely different these days because, you know, a lot of kids, man, they just trying to go to work and make a little money and enjoy themselves how they want to enjoy themselves. They're not necessarily committed to their sport. It's more like a club program thing to them, just a little hangout spot. And so they don't want somebody breathing down their neck, yelling at them when they're just trying to have fun, you know. Um, and be that as it may, the kids who can take that type of coaching and who can take that constructive criticism and hit the ground running, those are going to be your kids who blossom and become even more successful, I think, because at the end of the day, everything you do in life is going to come under some type of scrutiny, some type of criticism, and you're going to have to improve upon it, right? I mean, so if you're not able to take that type of coaching and criticism, whether it be football or your job or just life in general, then you're going to have a hard time. And so things are changing. And like I said, the ones who can adapt, they'll be fine. But the ones who are curling up and wilting away just because somebody has a different viewpoint than them and they're correcting them or something or trying to educate them on something, and they're going to have a hard time, and it'll continue to be that.
We love Terrion Arnold because he was the last Saban player that embraced the hard coaching. Now he didn't get the coaching that you guys got because Coach Saban was definitely
They
kind
got
of
Saban light, man.
they got Saban. When he said that he's jogging off the field and he's like I heard him yelling at somebody and he's like, and then I'm like, oh, it's me. It's like just the way he handled that. They like took him in as part of their family at that point. Well, if you can handle that, we love this guy.
I get it. I get the confusion, man, because he yells so much. It just get to a point where you just know he yelling at somebody. You don't really know who he yelling at, so you just keep it moving. And then you realize the yelling's starting to get a little more intense and a little more focused at you. And you're like, oh shit, he talking to me, right? But I always knew when he was yelling at me, man, because he get his little ass would get to pointing that finger up at me and shit. He get the cussing and as I'm running towards the sideline, like I could just hear I could just hear his audio getting louder, the volume getting louder, the cussing getting louder, and I was just like, damn, you're right, coach. Coach be coach, and I just keep it moving, man, because ain't really shit you can say. Because I'm just like, God damn, out of all 11 of us out here, how the fuck he see me fuck up? Like, I guess 11 people out here, how he see the right guard fuck up? Like, damn.
He's hard to miss, though. That's so funny. I can just imagine that when Ryan gets on here with us and he starts talking, and we're talking about Ryan Anderson, he played with Jake and Shank and those guys. You guys remember him. But him talking about Saban, like getting behind him, and he could just feel that heat that you feel when he's behind you. And I just see him like with the cutoff and the hat and the whistle and that pissed off look. He never looked happy. I mean, we would run into him at the airport when I worked for Crimson Tide Sports Network, and I loved, and I still do. I love Coach Wendell Hudson. I mean, I just absolutely love the guy. And Coach Hudson would go talk to him, and Coach Hudson loves everybody. I mean, and everybody loves him, right? But I see like him slide over to Saban, and I was always kind of pretty close to him because we would just talk and stuff, and Saban would just be like have that distant, thinking about something else, and I'm not happy stare. It's weird to see him smile so much now.
Hey man, his ass always used to be pissed off, walking around like he's so damn tough, and he every bit of like 5'5", 100 pounds. He's just like you tiny ass old man, and he get the fussing at you, and then you feel like you fucking 4'5", 50 pounds, and be like, I could have sworn I was a D1 athlete out here. I'm getting chewed out. I feel real small right now. It's the craziest shit, man. He used to stay on our ass though. Man, he's just like I said, he was always just a detail-oriented person. So he just liked everything the way he liked it. If we didn't do flex the right way, if it wasn't the right amount of energy, if we weren't bouncing around, he'd start all that shit over. Like that used to be the worst shit, dog. You get in fall camp and ain't shit pleasing him, or really he just being an asshole trying to get us going, I guess. And he just started restarting pigs, just restarting pigs. And just like I said, offense can never have a good day. If defense ain't balling, you might as well get ready because he bringing us back every time. Man, that was just the type of stuff he was on, man. I ain't appreciate the defensive bias, though. You know, I thought we was pretty good offensively as well. He didn't have to do us like that.
You didn't want to be the guy that calls all the running and practice stuff to happen over again.
Nah, man, I'm an offensive lineman. I don't never want any extra running. Yeah, fuck that.
But now that you're a coach, though, how do you go about that with the guys? I mean,
Hey,
like,
man,
man, get out
as a coach, I get them every opportunity to do the right thing, dog. Because I get it. I get it. You hot, you tired. And for me, it's a numbers game. It's just like I don't have 15 offensive linemen to just rotate through all the time. And so I got to take care of these 6 or 7 guys that I have. And so I just can't bust their ass every time they not performing at 100% or every time, they not sprinting off the field. Like I said, it's a new age of coaching, man. It's a new age of coaching. It's a new era. So you got to watch how you treat these guys. You got to watch how you talk to them. But at the end of the day, it's the same certain level of respect you have for them, man. You take care of them, they take care of you. Um, you treat them like young men and treat them with respect, and just try to give them the right stuff, and they'll give you all they have every time. And so it's been great regardless, man. It's not bad at all.
No, I'm sure you're in like the cafeteria and stuff, looking around, going, "Okay, that's a big guy right there. We could use this."
Yeah, I
You
ain't
came
got
out of band. I mean, they got you from band. I mean, you can find anywhere.
Yeah, that's my problem. Anything that's close to 6 foot, it look like it's about 200 pounds. Hey, I'm just like, I can turn you into a ball player. We can we can work with that. And, you go up to him like, you ever play football? He be like, no. Be like, hey, that's not a problem. That's why I'm a coach. Let's come holler at me. And, but it's fun, man. Those high school kids are fun. They're funny. They always got a story to tell. They always into some shit, man. Man, they just real characters, man. I got this one kid that reminds me of Lee off of Rush Hour. And, and it's just like every time he say something to me, it's just the funniest shit. And he be dead serious, man. And he always got something crazy to say. He just say, Coach. He was like, come on, Coach, I'm getting bored on that sideline, man. He's like, put me in, Coach. I say, hey, man, it's like, you play offensive line, you got to play more than one position. He's like, but Coach. He say, Coach, I ain't no center, Coach. I want to play guard, Coach. And he's just so funny, man. He keep me rolling. Just being around them kids, man, and just seeing their character, and like when they get used to you and you start building that relationship, you start to really see who they are and their personalities. It's great, man. I enjoy it.
I gotta say, thanks to Bob. He said Shank is so loose and laid back. With most people, you can tell they are conscious in front of the camera, but he's so natural. He feels like a friend. I've always liked Shank. He's a talent, and I know you meant Shank. I'm a spell check guy too. It always gets me, but that's why I'm excited every time we get a chance to have you on here. And I don't think we've even seen the best of Shank yet. We're just building.
Nah, man.
We're just trying to get there. Right?
Yeah, we definitely getting there, man. You know, I'm enjoying it though, man. I enjoy being on here, and it is with a friend. Because like I said, I don't want to get on here and just give y'all generic bullshit all the time. Just like you got enough talking heads that'll give you all the generic stuff, say all the basic stuff. Man, me, I'm just an ex-ball player with a little opinion. That's it. And, that's all it is to it. I just got a little resume behind my shit talking. Ain't no different than anybody else.
No, we got a little something to back it up. But
That's
well, look,
it.
it's been great to see all of you guys too that have watched live, and then some of you guys will be watching after we go off the air. It's recruiting season right now at Alabama. They're top 10, but they only have 5 recruits. They're pushing for a lot of 5-star players, 4-star guys, elite players across the country. If you were coaching at Alabama and you were going into homes and talking to some of these elite players, or even in the state of Alabama, what's the sell that you're going to give for the university?
Oh, tradition. We got to go heavy on tradition. We got to go heavy on NFL draft guys for us because we put guys in the league, and I think Bama has a leg up on people for the things we do after we're done with football as well. Just like I was one of those guys who benefited from the A Club, Red Elephant Club, being around those guys, networking, helped set me up career wise after it was all said and done. And so I would sell the long game, man. I would sell the long game. At Alabama, you have the ability to chase any path you can dream of. You know, if you want to make it to the NFL, it's been proven you can do that. If you want to be a doctor, I was on team with guys that are doctors now, they're surgeons. It's been proven you can do that. Um, just anything that you think you want to do with your life, all roads lead through Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And,
Yeah,
and that would be my selling tip, man, because even beyond football, even beyond NIL, somebody needs to have some real world conversation with these guys because at the end of the day, not everybody's going to be able to play NFL football.
right.
So, what's life after football look like for you? Like, what do you want to achieve? Like, what are your dreams? Like, and that'll be my biggest selling point because I think Bama has all the resources, and on top of all the resources, we have guys that have gone on to be extremely successful outside of football. So the proof is in the pudding for us. Um, and so that'll be my thing, man, because I know parents worry about their kids outside of football. It's just like, all right, once football is done, are you just gonna throw my kid to the side? Will you never talk to him again? Will you not be there for him now?
Mhm.
And I can truly say that Bama's been there for me. They've taken care of me. I've networked and I've spoken to people, and it's put me in rooms and given me opportunities that I know a normal individual wouldn't have. And so,
Right.
man, I finished my master's in 2016, and so I'm almost 10 years removed now,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm still connected to my university. And not everybody can say that. Not everybody can say they're going home. There's a new head coach. There's a new head coach there, and I'm still being invited home. Um, and so I think that'll be my selling point, and just that network, that alumni bond is legit, man. That Bama community is legit, and especially for our in-state guys or our guys that are just local to the South in general. And like you want to talk about life after football, this is the place to be. University of Alabama, like I said, leads to whatever path that you can dream and imagine.
Yeah,
So
and that's one of the things I've enjoyed about you is that it's not just football, man. You're kind of like a full range individual with like a lot of different interests. You can talk ball, but we should just get on here and try to do shows where we don't talk ball because it would be pretty fun to kind of just go
uh,
out there in a different
we can
direction.
do it. We can do it.
Well, guys, thank you for being here. I want to tell you a couple of things. That first off, we're brought to you by New Life Art over in right there at Hoover, Vestavia Hills. Daniel Moore, those great pictures. They're processing one right now for Shank's Man Cave because we got to get him hooked up in there. You guys can do the same thing. 20% off when you use our promo code Bama Tailgate at checkout. Say, hey, where'd you hear about it? Bama Tailgate at checkout, newlifeart.com. And then also Pearl River Resort over in Philadelphia, Mississippi. We're going to be there. Jay Coker and I are going to be there, not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday with Steve Azar, the country singer. We're going to just try to get him on our podcast and see if we can have one of those 3-hour sessions with Azar, drink a little beer, talk some stuff about what it's like to be a country music star. But you guys, check it out for yourself. Dancing Rabbit Golf Course is the Augusta you can play. It's golf season right now. The Azaleas, the Oaks, 2 amazing golf courses, and you don't have to have a membership. But they got the Timeout Sports Lounge, which is a Vegas-style sports book, and the Golden Moon Casino. Silver Star as well. Huge slots game up there. You got table games, and then the spa and Geyser Falls, the water park. We appreciate them, but most importantly, Roll Tide to you. Great hanging with you, Shank. We'll do it later this week. And have a great week, everyone. Roll Tide.
To Pearl River Resort.